And now, ladies and gentlemen, without taking further time of yours, we move on to the final session of the day today. Panel number 4, Digital Transformation, the Future of the Insurance Industry. And while we set up the stage for this panel session, and we have a plethora of industry experts here with us today who is going to talk on this panel session. So while I take your time, let me just give you a quick heads up what is in store with this panel session today. Some of the points of discussion this panel is going to highlight how digital transformation is changing the insurance industry today in India. Leveraging machine learning and artificial intelligence to revolutionize the risk modeling, pricing and underwriting in India. Data-driven imperatives for digital transformation in insurance. Using telematics, IoT to improve product and service offerings. Digital solutions enabling trust across your customer journey. Leveraging the power of cloud in the insurance sector, transforming the digital customer onboarding and video KYC experience with AI, real-time status tracking and reports on request, exception and approvals, and how come digital technology be utilized to build and retain customer confidence. That's the panel, ladies and gentlemen, which we are going to talk today. And we have a plethora of industry experts here with us. And it is going to be a special honor to have this particular panel, which is also going to be the concluding panel of the day. So I request all of you to pay attention for this particular panel session and help us have a great session, which is to conclude the proceedings of the day one. So now, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let me welcome them, and please help me welcome them with a big round of applause from all of you. Joining us first in this panel session, Kiran Belsekar, EVP, IT Governance and CISO from Aegon Life Insurance. Can we have a big round of applause to Mr. Kiran Belsekar from Aegon Life Insurance. Kiranji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat, sir. Joining Kiranji on the panel, we have Mr. Vinay Bajla, Head of Strategy and Partnership Business from Aditya, Birla, Sun Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Vinayji. Vinayji, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, we have Dr. K. Reddy, Managing Director and Principal Officer, Amaze Insurance Brokers. A big round of applause to Dr. Reddy. Dr. Reddy, welcome to the panel. Joining next in this panel, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Rupesh Mehta, Senior Vice President, IT, Tata AIA Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Rupesh. Rupesh, welcome to the panel. Joining next in the panel, ladies and gentlemen, Najm, Bilgrami, Senior Vice President and National Head, Financial Lines, Tata AIG General Insurance. A big round of applause to Najm. Welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. Joining next in the panel, ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Abhijeet Hatkar, Vice President, Professional Services, Duck Creek Technologies India LLP. A big round of applause to Abhijeet. Abhijeet, welcome to the panel. Please have your seat. And now, ladies and gentlemen, would like to call on stage the honorable moderator for this panel, Ms. Pratibha Arvind Sarathy, Head of IT-Enabled Services, General Insurance Council of India. A big round of applause to Pratibha ji. Welcome to the panel, madam. And all over to you, Pratibha ji. Looking forward to a great session.
So, good evening, everybody, and it's the last panel of the day. So, I'm sure we've heard a lot of buzzwords all through the day, lots of jargons, lots of stuff on digital and more digital. We are here on a panel which just says digital transformation, and that's a huge area to talk about. So, there is no one way to describe what is digital transformation. Digital is the buzzword of the day. Okay, and transformation is something that keeps happening and is the only change that is constant in the world. So we have been in India going through a very large digital transformation in the last few years. We've seen a lot of stacks coming up, we've seen a lot of softwares being developed, we've seen a lot of use of AI, ML, IoT, telematics, you name it, and we have companies working on it, we have people who are taking over these things. And we are also looking at a lot of, usage of data in a lot of different ways. So in terms of whether it be for underwriting, whether it be for claims, whether it be for, using a drone to figure out what's happening during a natural catastrophe. A lot of things have been put into use over the last few years. And we have a nice panel of insurers and stakeholders with insurance here, and we'd like to take a good we'd like to take their perspectives on different things that are happening in this space, and so as not to make this another jargon oriented thing, we are looking at giving you a lot of examples on things that can happen and how they can be taken forward here. So let's begin with Kiran. Now, as you all know, he is the EVP at Aegon Life. Now, Aegon Life is one of those digital companies which have come up. Okay, so we are really jumping into the digital space. So, Kiran, we talk of so much of digital all over the space. So, right from a simple thing like the Ambani wedding, which happened, Ambani pre-wedding celebrations which happened. We've had so many arrangements, so much of risk to be covered, so many things that could have gone wrong, and a lot of this kind of data, who's coming in, what's happening, how to authenticate the people. Now, from an insurance perspective, right from KYC to, who or what is involved is all getting accumulated somewhere. So what is your take on how this whole digital transformation is being handled at Aegon Life?
Yeah, thanks Pratibha for that question, and thanks first of all the CNX groups for having me here in this esteemed panel. So to be very honest, in last couple of years, I think the technology has really, in fact, completely changed the way the insurance is bought and sold. If you really look at, and thanks to largely to the India tech stack, which has really made the frictionless journey for the customers for getting this journey really done. And when I talk about the India stack, it talks about the entire package, where we talk about the identity or the authentication, or even the e-signing for that matter, using Aadhaar. And also, if you really look at from the complex or the other documentations, if you really look at having that digital storage using DigiLocker, or even making even the payments, making very spontaneous using UPI. So I think these has really transformed the way to make the frictionless journey. And along with this, it is not only the India tech stack, but also there are third-party data services which are really available in the market, which obviously from the government or from the semi-government or from the private sectors as well, which really helps to make this journey really a frictionless. So I think these are the couple of parameters which has really made things. And this really helps in terms of not only having a right products, but a right propositions, having a right customer service. So all these coming at absolutely a right price as well. So that doing a hyper personalization, if you really talk about, is one of the thing. And another big thing which is coming up, I think the government of India initiative is, which is largely going to help, is on the Ayushman Bharat health program, which is ABHA. I think that is again going to really come back, and specifically in the life insurance space, and also in the general insurance, specifically for health insurance. I think that is really going to transform the way, because I think while the India tech stack has really transformed the way from an identity or even account aggregator for that matter, doing a financial underwriting. So I think that is really coming up, that we really don't need to ask any documentation from the customer perspective. So and at Aegon Life, honestly, we have seen for us the USP has always been no documentation or zero ops, zero docs is what we call. So that's thanks to these all entire tech stacks, which has really made that happen for us.
That the government has really taken its efforts to bring in a lot of databases, and I'm glad to know that a lot of these are being used very effectively. Also in the general insurance space with the motor, for example, the Vahan database, the Sarathy databases, the databases that you have for through the NHA, which are coming in with the health authorities. So also the all the PM schemes which are coming in, like you're saying, we are building in so many stacks and so much of databases. I think everything is going to be very, very easy and seamless for somebody who knows how to navigate the space. That said, insurance has always been something which is driven by the person on the road. You know, somebody who's a contact, who's a connect, who's your advisor, who tells you where to go, what to do, how to take, where to put in stuff. So our intermediaries have always played a very, very important role in the insurance space. And even today, insurance is a push product. And I think in India, despite all the digital, we are very happy with that connect, with that touch of a real life person who's there. So Dr. Reddy, I'd like to know, how do you see from a broker space, how do you see the future of a digital transformation taking on for the brokers and the others?
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Pratibha, for the great question. So, as usual, the success mantra all along was perform or perish. Now it is changed. It is digitize or disappear. It is as simple as that. This is equally applicable to insurance brokers. So, unless the insurance brokers are well equipped with this, transformation, they will not be in a position to survive in the industry, which is highly digital oriented in the years to come. So whether it is an insurer or an insurance broker, they have to inevitably invest in technology. So unless the technology is embraced, the insurance broker cannot either do the marketing or render the service to the clients. So when it comes to the insurance broker, you have two different segments. One is the retail segment, where you find, the web aggregators. Even insurance brokers are, since they are also allowed online insurance sales, they are also having the same aggregator platforms. And the other side, it is the corporate and SME sector, where we are meeting the requirements, the property insurance or group health or group term requirement. So here also, the software is equally involved. The digitization equally important here. It is equally important even in retail also. And when it comes to we as insurance, Amaze Insurance, we have set an example. Way back in 2016 itself, we have designed a platform called Livestock Insurance Software Application for implementing a sheep insurance scheme, where we have uploaded the images of sheep, live sheep with tag numbers, and that platform itself was an end-to-end platform where the sheep, the images were uploaded, policies were uploaded, individual beneficiary-wise certificates could be downloaded, and then the claims were also uploaded, the photographs of the death animal and the live animal at the time of, enrolling, they were compared and the claims were settled. Like this, I think I should refer to Mr. Page. He is just leaving, but still. So he was telling, false, even AI, where there is a possibility of, positive, genuine claim being branded as a false. Here we have totally avoided, eliminated the fraud in sheep insurance. And the national insurance, who was the insurer who implemented this scheme, it ended up in good profits. The premium collected was around 3.75 crores, and the claims with this platform, there were only 72 claims with the total elimination of fraud. So that is how it could be handled. So effectively, we have to invest in technology So technology means automatically, you have to partner with technology partners, or you have to have the departments or the resources trained well. So upskilling of your resources, upskilling of the staff, workforce also is highly important. Unless the workforce are upskilled, I mean their skills are improved in either digital marketing or data analytics or IoT devices and such other things, emerging technologies, AI, these areas, it will be difficult for the organizations to really keep pace with the transformations. That is one area. Another is the cyber security. Cyber security, the data that is stored, that needs to be, foolproof, and it should not be hacked by the hackers. So effectively the cyber security plays a major role, where IRDA also has given detailed guidelines, even for insurance brokers also, and with set deadlines. So we are expected to meet the cyber security norms that are stipulated by IRDA also. So coming to the regulations have become very, very stringent even for insurance brokers also. The cyber security regulations are the final regulations. And even the changing customer needs, the brokers also have to change their marketing strategies suiting to the digital transformation. We should have apps. We should also have our own websites which can make some marketing. And within the website, the customer should be in a position to lodge the claims and should also have the capabilities of knowing the status of the claims on the website whenever they visit us. So these are all the areas the brokers have to equip themselves. I think then only the brokers can survive in the present market. That is what I can say.
Thank you, Dr. Reddy. It just shows that the insurance industry is taking everybody along and growing. We are not digitizing at the cost of anybody. It was a very interesting example that he gave of taking sheep and taking their photographs and putting the things in. So we are not just talking of KYC records of humans here. We are talking of records of all other forms of things that we insure. And talking of which, we are now having an overload of data that we are talking about, right? So whether it be KYC, and we have a lot of life insurers here, so we are talking of individual data, but when it also comes to the general space, we are also talking of a lot of inanimate things that we are storing. So, so much of data, so much of pattern recognition that we need to do, so much of things. So we, I think slowly all our insurers are also moving into how do we store this data, where do we take it, what is it that we get out of it. So Rupesh, I turn to you. What is it in terms of the management of the cloud, in terms of telematics? How does your company see this whole growth of data and its usage?
Thanks. And I would like to make it not a jargon oriented, which we discussed at the beginning of the discussion, right? So, and obviously people sitting over here probably thinking of this being a last panel, so let's give them the perspective, which is not restricted to only one company, but to the sector, right? So I come from Tata AIA Life Insurance, and I'm fortunate to work on various programs, and the way in which I am seeing the insurance sector, not only life, but general, all put together, evolving. There is, if I may say, there is in last 5-10 years, there is a tremendous shift, right, which has happened. Many things around the technology landscape, Kiran highlighted about the tech stack, absolutely, bang on around that point. The overall ecosystem, the way in which the things are emerging, that is pretty much going in favor of the consumer and the provider. Now, why I'm saying that consumer and provider both? Because consumer today is getting what they want with few lesser clicks, and supplier is able to provide what the consumer needs, right? So that's the whole game when we talk about insurance. You rightly stated it's a push product. So far it's a push product. It's not very far that, we would be making this as also kind of a shopping big kind of a product, right? Because every insurer today aims that, when a consumer goes to e-commerce platform, like other products that they select, they should also be selecting the insurance product. And that's the end game that everybody is trying to play around. Coming back to the core question, while we try to do this, there are a lot of technological play that comes into picture. AI, ML, what we talk about, IoT, all these pointers, which is today taking the center stage. This is becoming possible for all of us because of some fundamental changes in the core technology that has happened. If you look back in the earlier years when we used to have, core systems, the big, boxes, from there to moving to a cloud-based platform. So today, if new entrant wants to enter into insurance segment, it's not that difficult for a new entrant. Why? Because from the capital-intensive, business, this has moved to a point wherein, you go pay as you go kind of approach. So cloud played a major role over here. Quantum computing played a major role in such things. Today, when we talk about, companies, insurance companies, we all understand that, even if it is insurance or broker or anywhere, you need agility. There is a variation, there is a demand variation, there is a seasonal variation. How do you cope up with that? Cloud provides an answer for that. So I see cloud as an integral part of the overall ecosystem. It's the enabler, and the way in which we are embracing cloud. So I may say so that, we have taken a leap bound around, moving most of our system to cloud, and a lot of analytics on top of that. So basically, few years back, the way in which we used to struggle that, put every data at one place, then try to run an analytics engine on top of that, and then get the report, versus data being available in a discrete manner at the various platforms, and still you being able to run an analytical models on top of it, provides the edge. And this is something which is becoming possible because of the technologies like cloud and other areas. So that's the major change that I see. Yeah.
So, yeah, sure.
So thanks, Rupesh. So I think I would like to share the global perspective here, because I think telemarkets has just started in India. Many insurance companies have started pay as you drive. That's a new model which has come up, right? But it's old in the global market, right? But I think the way insurance industry is looking at is how to prevent the loss, how to avoid the claim in future. That is what I do is going to play the major part, right? And from global industry, I have seen that the commercial insurance space as an example, right? When you're installing sprinklers in your commercial premise, you're adding some safety devices in commercial premise. How do we add IoT devices to monitor those devices, also to give proactive warnings or proactive alerts to do the preventive maintenance? That is going to reduce the hazard or accidents in the commercial premises. That is what the big changer for the insurance company, because if we can prevent an accident, that is going to be a huge save for the claims perspective. That is the way we have seen in global market. I believe slowly it is going to come here as well. That is what I see.
Absolutely, I'll just add up to that. So basically today insurers are looking for enabling their customer not to meet with an incident which will call for an insurance, right? That's what all of us are saying. Be it motor driving, be it health insurance. So today we talk about Tata AIA. So we have launched a product called as Vitality. Now this is a very unique way of tracking customers' health and then benefiting them around the insurance premium. Now why we would do it is because the less claims that you have, better it is, and it is also better for the customer. Likewise, I can recollect of the use cases around 6-7 years back when we were working on some IoT platform, not with Tata but with other platform. There, telemedicine. A big, huge use case, right? You have somebody sitting in the remote village and there are no, primary, tertiary cares available. Telemedicine, underwriting, these are the ways of which you can really enable those underprivileged customer also. And I must say that from an IRDA perspective also, there are mandates that, you need to have inclusions. And these are the ways by which the technology is helping. So yeah, telemedicine and teledata is one of the major points. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Rupesh, this is Vinay here. I'm just curious on the points that you've made. Tata AIA is something we've always seen that has been very agile in the industry always. They're coming up with a lot of innovative solutions. I think I want to thank you for that. A lot of learning for other insurers from it, and it has come up the curve. So just to ask you a question, when you come up with a new technology implementation within the system, so to say, then what are some of the impediments that you face on the ground when it comes to a sales fraternity? And what do you do to adapt the sales to adapt to that technology quickly?
Sure. So over here again, I would keep it company agnostic,
Sure.
right? So that the point is, and that's a very valid question, that when any big organization wants to implement any new technology solution, what matters is adoption, right? And I think if I'm just recapping the question, so how does the adoption works, and how do you plan to increase the adoption? I think most important point for any organization would be to understand the core problem statement and then define solution around that. In fact, and interestingly, day before yesterday itself, when we were having a discussion with our CEO, one of the points that we were discussing is app aisa banao ke you don't really need to do a pull factor for that, right? I mean, when we were debating internally that, okay, my sales team should really adapt. Why should I have to put an extra effort for adoption if there is a problem statement which is already known and you are targeting that problem statement through your solution? Now, this is one part of the problem. Obviously, having said that, awareness makes a major impact, right? Because if you have created something which is unique, which is really solving the problem, but if your end consumer is not aware about that, then that also creates hurdle in adoption. So that is the second part using which we try to educate the people. Third most important point is consumer at the center point, right? So do not create anything which is not going to add value to your end consumer. That's the bottom line when we try to do any project, any activities, and that's what helps to make all the adoptions move swiftly. So that's the way. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, so a lot of interesting perspectives that came out, and a good discussion in terms of adoption and in terms of what works. The fact that he was talking about how you needed to move from a cloud, to a cloud from the large scale things. And so the whole technology adoption is not just about technology, it's not just about cloud or about thing, it's also about the people who are using it, right? And it was interesting the way you said it has to be easy, or 10-year-old will know how to use a mobile without knowing what is to be done. But for us to actually move out of what we were doing on pen and paper to actually go there and say, let's digitally sign, is going to be a challenge, it takes people along. And there I think, Duck Creek with the last presentation also gave us a lot of scope on what they are doing in this space. So would you like to enlighten us on how companies can take this forward and see the whole thing growing in their own space?
Sure, thanks Pratibha. So from AI ML perspective, I think that is what Pratibha is alluding to, that how we are seeing the global trends, what can be leveraged in India and so on, right? I think with changing regulation in India, I think insurance for all for 2047, I think all insurance companies have a huge opportunity in this market to grab that. And I think whatever learnings we are seeing globally, we have to really leverage that, right? And when we say AI, ML, I think, as Pratibha mentioned, that in India at least we know that it's a humanized insurance, if I may say, right? Because people trust people don't trust technology. Technology is just to enable you, right? AI or ML is going to enable you, your decision making, they're going to make your processes efficient, so you can do more better things, you can solve more complex problems which machine cannot solve, right? And when I look at Duck Creek perspective, I think my team has given some demo on CANCOM for the AI in the motor insurance space. But we also have solutions where we also have solution partner like GLIA, who enables the customer service through AI chatbot, right? You can ask what is my status of the claim, and it can respond you, right? Or if you want to file a new claim, that can just over the chatbot. Yeah, we are developing that in India as well. I've seen that a lot of WhatsApp integration has been done, more chatbots has been developed. But yes, that can go further. It can go beyond it's what doing the simple task, right? Other thing we have seen in global market is how do we automate the underwriting process itself? How do we set through processing while selling the policy? How to avoid the manual intervention, right? So the partners like Expert.ai, they actually help you to automate underwriting processes. They enable you to identify unintended, I would say, risk which you are going to take or exposure which you might see while writing a policy. Or they can also give you some red flags ahead of time. So you can actually route your STP for straight-through processing flow to an STP in the right timely manner. Right? That is how the AI is going to play in that space. I think motor we talked about the vehicle inspection and so on, but other case study we have seen or implemented in globally is how do we actually do predictive rate modeling, right? So Accure8 is one of our partner who helps us to do the predictive modeling for the rates. So it can streamline your pricing process where based on your historical data and based on your current situation within the geography, within your particular location, your driver history or whatever, right? Because of telematics, a lot of things can be gathered. It can predict that, okay, for Abhijeet, what should be the next best premium can be applicable when they try to renew it, right? So those things are possible. And again, I think as I said that AI and ML are going to be enablers for us. They are not going to replace humans. So obviously humans will be there. They are going to enable you to do decision making faster. There are multiple examples in automation where you can do set-step processing and you can use that capacity of underwriter to do complex tasks, right? You can personalize your pricing or your coverage based on your risk profile, based on your preferences. Because as I'm a conservative person, I don't want to take too much risk. So there is no point in adding too many coverages and add-ons. My premium goes high. So based on my historical data points on social media or other, AML can tell you that, okay, you target this person, this is the preferred pricing for that person, right? I think you must have seen in Amazon that when you buy something, it tells you similar to you, who has others got buy it. That's what can happen in insurance industry, right? Like you, your friends have bought this many things, this is recommended for you, right? We call it as next best action. That is what Duck Creek calls internally as a technology. But those are the things, technology can enable you to do something different.
Interesting viewpoint there to compare it to social media, and that's what we were talking about even earlier, that today is a very connected world, right? So, and when you say you can replace the human by an AI, we are going from one end of the spectrum where you just have a bot helping you to a deep fake where you don't know who's speaking, right? So we have the, so technology has grown by leaps and bounds. So is it only about using technology for right means, or maybe there are times, you know, where you have to be very, very, so he did say, mention about preventing fraud. Okay, so fraud so far in the insurance space was always about maybe manipulating a paper, maybe manipulating something, you know, standing in for somebody else or not giving the right documents. But today that could go a lot more, you know, and then when you talk about social media coming in, when you talk about other things coming in, the sort of crimes that we are talking about can just burgeon. And there, would you like to give us a thing on Najm on how you handle cyber crime?
Okay, thanks, ma'am. So my role in the panel is to talk about exclusions. Like when we look at policies, we talk about coverage, but then there is a part which is known as exclusion. So similarly, like we are talking about digital transformation, but digital transformation comes with an exposure, and the exposure is as huge as data breaches. It is as huge as following those privacy norms, which can bring those 20 million or 250 crore for our digital or the privacy law which we are talking about. So we as an industry, we should be mindful about the exposure or the other side of the coin which technology brings. And I can tell you, like, we were the first one to introduce cyber insurance in 2014 in India. And from there to now, what I see, the focus of regulators, and not only regulators, even as an individual customers, and of course, like, it's very important for us as a country, because when you look at India, India is the third favorite destination for hackers. And when you read reports issued by Big Fours, they very clearly say that as high as 70% Indian organizations experience breaches or other kind of cyber incidents. It is making us more vulnerable. When you look at news, like I think 15 days back, we were reading about a deep fake video making a Hong Kong company pay 25 million. So definitely these are big exposures. And as I said, similarly, when you look at the provisions under the privacy law, the kind of procedures which we have follow when we are like taking data from insured, we have to take those consent to keep that data. So all these things are making this, of course, risk more complicated. And that's why, like, as an industry, we have to be very careful. Definitely we have to invest, as sir said, that digitize or disappear, but at the same time, it is very important for us as an industry, and not even as an industry, I think it starts from ourselves, like as an individual, to understand the importance of data and how bad it can take a shape when, like, it is compromised and it can misuse at the cyberspace. So I think that's one angle which we should be like conscious about, and taking actions so that the growth is not bringing those exposures which is unwanted. So that's my take, ma'am.
That's, yeah, so everything has two sides to it. Yes, so cybercrime, frauds are part and parcel of what we are doing, and I think we can reduce, we are talking of a lot of integrations, again back to your India stacks, to assume, you know, that if we know these things, if we know identity, if we know who's doing what, it will help us. Back to telematics to see what are patterns and behaviors, and if they are out of the ordinary, maybe they put up a red flag. Again, back to where he spoke about all the brokers and the touch points, and, you know, the more the number of people who are keeping track of who's happening, and if you're an on-ground person, you do know what's reality. So, so I think we have gone over a lot of ground. So, Vinay, as head of strategy, with so many different things happening all around and different people with different perspectives, how do you handle the strategy and how you need to take this forward?
Yeah, that's a very interesting question, Pratibha. So, and after everybody has spoken, it makes it even more interesting. I would say that insurance industry is by virtue a very conventional and traditional industry. We all know it's been about 18 years for me in this industry, and only after 2017, which is practically in the mid of 2016-17, we've seen some transformation happening in the industry. And that is primarily also because it was the advent of bank insurance into the light, and each insurer is competing with the other insurer in a certain space, right? So earlier, if you see the regulatory movement, the drive was largely about 2047 insurance for all drive, for all of us. And that's when, AUM came into light, and that's when 3 insurers and 9 insurers. So everything is pushing towards, retailization of the industry. So when it comes to all of this, I think digital and digitization made a major role to play. And if I look at from the sales parlance, from any insurer point of view, whatever we are developing for the sales fraternity. And they have to adapt to it, like Rupesh beautifully put up. They have to adapt to all that change. So digital is not about anything else. It's about a change, I feel, is the change that is bringing in here. And the theme of insurer, the regulator, is to go out there and reach out to the last mile. It's about customer outreach. It's about customer connect. It's about customer engagement. The entire insurance ecosystem, insurance life cycle, I would say, of the customer is where the digital is making an impact, right? Coming to what, if I have a view, I have a view of my own company, and it's been about many years in the company, and I'm proud of that. It's about 16 years in this company, and I've seen multiple channels, roles that I've done here. So coming to agency, if I say there are various channels to life insurance, right? I'll talk of life insurance primarily. We have agency as the most primary channel. In agency, I've seen digitization may not be, or digital ecosystem may not be that prevalent as it is for bank insurance. Because bank itself is moving towards digitization big time. They are into a foray where I'm learning as an insurer from the banker. And banker has privy to many more insurance companies, teaching them, learning from them. Right? So in a way, if I'm not present, if I'm not savvy digitally as an insurer, then I'm out of the game. So that makes it much more relevant for, there's no choice of being a digital company anymore. Like Kiran would resonate, he owns a company, he works with a company which is completely digital and is not into physical mode at all. And now they're planning to foray into it. I am aware that you're planning to foray into the physical mode of business. However, digital is something, according to a sales parlance, is about change, according to me. And if you're not present into any of the spaces and the value chain of life insurance, then we're not relevant anymore. Yeah, that's the point I would like to make. It's about giving power in the hands of the customer again. So everything like office in the pocket of a life insurance agent or a life insurer in the bank space. Because if you see, I have 7,000 frontline operating out of 10 banks, and they're not coming to the offices of the insurer. They are there. Unless you provide all the ammunitions to drive business, it's not working out. So be it cybersecurity over there has to play a big role, be it any digital stack within the company, like Kiran put it, is very, very important, and it has been prevalent in the past 4 to 5 years, bringing the change in the organization. So that's the point I would make, that this is here to stay, and we all have to abide by whatever movement change that is going to come along.
Yeah.
That's it. Thanks.
Thanks, Vinay. In fact, sometime back when we were talking, he also mentioned a very important thing. He said, who are the customers we are looking at? We are looking at the customers whose lives are open in the social media, right? So we come from and I'm speaking for us, that we come from a generation where we were a little more private, where we were a little more organized about what we should do, when we should take in an insurance. When today, the demand of insurance is pay as you go, pay as I use. I want it only for this purpose. I want it for this. So we are in a very, very different world now. So does anybody have a take on, where we are heading with? So what this whole thing requires is all the telematics, all the AI, all the technologies that they provide us, all the immense amount of data saying, I'm driving here, this is the way I drive, that is the way I walk, this is where I go, this is how much I exercise. So we have this wealth of information. Where do we think we are going with this? Does anybody want to take that on?
I have a small point to make, sorry. Rupesh mentioned of vitality, right? So I see there's a lot of innovation going to come in through digital in terms of products. Today, a lot of products can be made, but they are not getting made because I don't have the skill as a company to execute it, right? So when it comes to all that aspects of the business getting stitched, then we'll see very innovative products for the customer. When we'll see all the LOBs of a life insurance company and the other LOBs of a finance company, for instance, ABC, for our Aditya Birla Capital, if you see. We have health insurance, we have life insurance, we have Aditya Birla Wellness, all that. But I don't have a stitched product which combines all the three LOBs, right? So this is going to be the future going forward where customer is a winner, is my sense. Yep.
Yeah. I think I would like to add a different perspective here, I think based on my interaction with my children, right? I think we are very conservative in sharing any data, right? My children are very open. They go to social media, Instagram, they share data everywhere, right? If I tell them to buy a policy through the mobile, they are very open to do that, versus we will think 2 times, I will call my agent, I will call insurance company, check so many details, and we'll decide whether I want to go at that, right? So it's opportunity for us. I think looking at the population or young population we have, maybe it's opportunity for Indian insurance company to look at how we can, so digital is definitely going to help them, right? And I think many people also visited our stall and talk about, oh, you have a SaaS platform or cloud platform. Can we have on-prem, right? People are still worried about that, oh, my data privacy will go, right? There is no security. Once I go to cloud, how it is going to happen, right? But things are changing. So I have been working with global industry for more than 20 years. I have seen, there was a fear when we started North America as well. It has gone over the period. Now they are settled. For them, cloud is default, right? They don't talk about on-prem. But we are still in that mind shift. I think it is going to take few more years to get there, right? The way ahead I look at it is the term called as parametric insurance, right? Which is again changing the game. What we are saying is that instead of indemnifying your actual loss, can you indemnify actual predefined event? So for example, if flood happens in Chennai, and if you have an insurance policy, certain insurance company, if they have that parametric insurance product, they can just settle your claim without you filing the claim. Because they know that after a certain threshold flood is there, this will be the damage for your house or whatever, and they will just make the payment claim. That is where the insurance is going to head in future.
There is a positive side of this also, because this big data, along with increase, in IoT devices, will throw tremendous opportunities to insurers to devise the personalized insurance products.
Correct.
That is another advantage. Of course, plus side we see. So everything has a plus and minus. So this is how the insurers can benefit out of this big data. Thank you.
I think I've seen times when the innovation was following the regulation, but now we see regulation is following the innovation as well. So I think it's an exciting time ahead with a lot of propositions coming in more than products. I think we'll see a lot of such propositions for specific segments coming in and specific requirements.
Yeah, so my view again, it has increased exposure, and as an underwriter, I always, and it's just not that cyber policy which I underwrite or the crime insurance which I underwrite. Even let's look at the DNO policy. One WhatsApp message causing a listed company to their share prices crashing down. Imagine that's the exposure now we are living in, and definitely as an insurer, as an underwriter, we should be careful about writing these risks, pricing these risks correctly. I think that's my take now.
Quick point, I see insurance moving from push product to pull.
Correct.
Gen Z adapting insurance like a e-commerce product, and I see technology becoming the integrated part. So insurance companies are now becoming technology companies who are also selling the insurance. That's the way ahead for all of us.
I think if Elon Musk is successful in implanting the chip, I think that is going to be the final thing.
Yeah, so now we can also think of products which cut across humans and humanoids and AI if you put a chip in somebody's brain. But thank you very much, panel. It was an interesting and enlightening session. we've cut across a lot of boundaries. We have also put our warning messages there, and we've gone back and tried to question our own, what are our own, the drawbacks in terms of how well we as people here on the stage also take to, technology. While we all talk technology, how easy is it for us to adopt was also a question mark that we tried to bring it here. So thank you so much. We hope the audience also found it engaging and interesting. Thank you.
And a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, to this wonderful panel here on digital transformation, future of insurance industry. A big thank you to Pratibha ji for wonderfully moderating the panel. I would request now Mr. Vijay Narasimhan, Head of Sales from Sunlight Solutions, to kindly come on stage to do the felicitation for this honorable panel here. Thank you so much, Vijay ji, for doing the honors. Please come on the stage. We'll start with Mr. Kiran Belsekar from Aegon Life Insurance. Mr. Kiran Belsekar, ladies and gentlemen, big round of applause for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next to Mr. Vinay Bajla from Aditya Birla Sun Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Vinay ji for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Dr. Muralidhara Reddy from Amaze Insurance Brokers. A big round of applause to Dr. Reddy for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next to Mr. Rupesh Mehta from Tata AIA Life Insurance. A big round of applause to Rupesh for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Najm Bilgrami from Tata AIG General Insurance. A big round of applause to Najm for his wonderful contribution in the panel. Moving next, ladies and gentlemen, to Mr. Abhijeet Hatkar from Duck Creek Technologies India LLP. A big round of applause for Abhijeet for his wonderful contribution in the panel session. And moving next to our honorable panel moderator, Ms. Pratibha Arvind Sarathy from General Insurance Council of India. A big round of applause for Pratibha ji for wonderfully moderating this panel session. Request the panel members to kindly step forward for a group photograph, and Vijay, if you could also join them for a group photograph. Big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, that is the final panel of the day, day one of the India Insurance Summit and Awards 2024. And what a way to conclude. Great discussion we had on digital transformation, future of industry, of the insurance, and wonderfully moderated by Ms. Pratibha Arvind Sarathy from General Insurance Council of India. And thank you all.